President Trump's longtime lawyer Michael Cohen appeared in federal court today to protect his files seized by the FBI. He didn't win. A judge rejected his and Mr. Trump's request for a temporary restraining order that would have kept them from prosecutors. Adult film star Stormy Daniels showed up, and she alleges she was paid by Cohen to keep an affair with President Trump quiet. Here's what she said when she left the courthouse.
For years, Mr. Cohen has acted like he is above the law. He has considered himself and openly referred to himself as Mr. Trump's fixer. He is played by a different set of rules, or should we say no rules at all. He has never thought that the little man, or especially women, and even more women like me, mattered. That ends now. My attorney and I are committed to making sure that everyone finds out the truth and the facts of what happened, and I give my word that we will not rest until that happens. Thank you very much.
Okay, and that was Stormy Daniels making a statement outside the courthouse after the judge made the ruling today, Judge Wood, regarding the disclosure of the documents. So, Dana, some news today, obviously, because this was something that Michael Cohen was trying to keep private and get a restraining order issued to prevent the release of those materials coming out.
Right. So there was a lot of things happening in court today, really. I mean, it's a highly unusual hearing, because this is a highly unusual situation to have somebody who is the president's lawyer, to have the Southern District of New York, the FBI do the raid, get the information, and then there's these questions of attorney-client privilege. So that was what was in court today. And one of the things that the judge required was that Michael Cohen had to say, who are your clients? Give me the list of clients.
Correct.
And he said, okay, well, the first one y'all know is President Trump. The second one is Elliot Broidy. Y'all know that. And the third one I'm going to keep anonymous at the request of everybody. I want to keep it quiet. By the end of the hour, it had been revealed that that was Sean Hannity. He went forward then and said, well, actually, I've never done anything on my behalf legally, but I have talked to him from time to time on legal things like real estate, etc. So all of this is swirling around at the time when the judge is saying, we need to have this information because we need to understand what you want us to keep privileged, so that when the teams are looking at this, they know what is attorney-client privilege and what is not. And that's why you had the developments today.
Okay. And Greg, yes, and Sean Hannity issuing the statement and on his radio show as well, saying that he never actually retained or transacted with Michael Cohen in terms of paying him, but that he would consult him from time to time on certain matters, and that he has 8 attorneys. Wow. So, you know, that he uses at his disposal for a variety of different
I mean, full disclosure, I am a secret client of Jacoby and Myers at a uvula accident with a piccolo, but they got me a 6-figure settlement. Thank you, Jacoby and Myers. Leave it to Sean to be part of a scandal and have the least salacious part of it. I mean, his stuff is so common sense. It's like everybody. I love this. I loved it so much. You go on Twitter. Everybody was convulsing with joy over this news. They thought, oh, we got another scalp. This is going to be amazing. All these little blue check comrades together, you know, seeing that this is going to be the best day ever. And of course, it never ends up being what they want. It never is. And it just deflates back to normal. And all that energy spent on hoping that somebody you don't like is destroyed actually just shows how petty you are.
Okay. All right. So, Jesse, your thoughts, and also, you know, President Trump was tweeting on this, saying how the attorney-client privilege is now dead in this country because of the invasion here in terms of like privacy and privilege and obtaining documents.
It's a difficult case to assess because you don't really know what these prosecutors are after. Do they have something on a settlement? Do they have something about Russia? Is there something totally unconnected? So I'm having a hard time really dissecting it. With that said, just looking back from my perspective, it's very troubling when you have these, you know, people raiding the law offices and home of the president's lawyer, the attorney-client privilege. That's a sacred privilege, and it looks like it's now at risk. At the same time, it seems very aggressive and dramatic for them to do that. And if I were the Trump team lawyers, I would say, listen, this is poison the well. We're not going to cooperate. And I'd be pretty mad at Rosenstein, too, to sign off on that. And on the other hand, it looks like there's a double standard with the way Hillary's lawyer was treated and the way Trump's lawyer was treated. Obviously, different cases, but it adds the perception like he's being treated differently. And then the clean team going through the files. At this point, in this juncture, there is no one clean. I don't trust anybody. I don't think the president trusts these people. I don't think Hillary's team trusted these people. Lawyers are great when you're in trouble, and we're a nation of laws, and they can protect you when they need to protect you. But at the same time, lawyers, when they want to get you, they can get you. And I'd be very upset or very scared if I had these people knocking at my door and raiding my offices. And sometimes innocent people are convicted. Sometimes guilty people get off scot-free. I would just hate to be in the middle of any of this.
What are they going to find in your office, Jesse?
Yeah, I don't have an office.
Waters World T-shirts and hats.
Yes.
Lots
Swag.
of them.
A lot of swag.
Yes, exactly. Party boy emblems of a special guest was a guest on a show.
Well, and just in response to what Jesse was saying, it was a legal warrant, Jeff.
I know it was legal.
And it's legal warrant.
There's a lot of things legal in this country that can turn people's lives upside down.
True,
if you look back at the special counsels in Clinton and Bush and now this, I mean, I think both parties can say, was the outcome the way we wanted it or expected it? No, I mean, they've run people's lives through the ringer, a lot of the times unfairly. And when this whole thing opened up, we said to ourselves, you know, when they appoint these people, you never know which way it can go. And this thing's turned sideways. And again, this country's been turned upside down, and everyone's laughing at us.
Wait a second. The country's been turned upside down by the FBI and the DOJ?
Juan, you don't know where this thing could go.
Oh,
this whole
okay.
investigation
I agree.
has been questionable from the very beginning.
I don't agree with that, but I do think that part of the mandate given to Mueller as a special counsel was that if you discover anything beyond possible collusion,
listen,
it's part of your
job. You're right. It was a very broad mandate, and that's why the president didn't like the appointment of a special counsel to begin with.
But let me just say, I mean, so to me, it's a legal warrant, and by the way, involving several Republican officials,
right,
who said there is sufficient reason for the government to now go into Mr. Cohen's office, hotel room, and home because they worried that he wasn't going to be cooperative and give the evidence.
Well, he had been cooperating up until that point.
That's a big thing. And the second thing, obviously, for us here at Fox, this is a big thing about Sean Hannity. And, you know, the question for me is why Sean didn't disclose this earlier. Because in the previous two cases, Sean says there's no third party. He's obviously referring to the idea that Cohen was setting up payments to women for Trump and for Elliot Brody, the guy who's the RNC donor. And I don't think there's any evidence of anything like that with Sean Hannity. But why, when Sean was on the air strongly an advocate for President Trump, not saying, hey, I've got a relationship with the lawyer, I think that's a question as to.
Hasn't he done that? I think that people knew that Sean and Michael Cohen have known each other for years. This is a theory. I've not talked to Sean. This is my own personal theory. I think that if Sean were to be asked 2 days ago, name all of your lawyers, would he have said Michael Cohen is one of his lawyers? Probably not. No. It was Michael Cohen who said he's a lawyer of Sean. Mm-hmm. The goal of which, I think, is to ask the judge to protect any conversations he might have had with Sean. Cool. And he's saying, yes, he's advised me on things before. You don't have to have paid a lawyer in order to have attorney-client privilege. Like I could say, Kimberly, can you represent me and be my lawyer on something?
And
she says yes.
For $1.
Yes. For $1. So I give her $1. From there on, then everything she and I talk about can be attorney-client privilege.
Everything at this table.
Do I get that right?
Is attorney-client privilege.
Jesse has hired me too, and Dana, and little one over there. Great. All right, we've got to go now right now.